Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on Kaizen and digital transformation for business resilience and continuity. Today's webinar will explore how technology and Kaizen approaches can help you explore new business opportunities, reduce costs of operations, and enable your company to be more resilient and better positioned for the future ahead when the economy recovers. Today's program will start with a short warm-up poll, followed by the main presentation, and finally a Q&A discussion at the end. We have the team from SIMTech for this sharing. Let us first welcome Dr. Roland Lim.
Hello. Nice to meet you all. Good morning.
Next up, we have Mr. Peter Chew.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. I'm Peter.
And we have Ming Chong.
Hello, very good morning to everyone.
So first thing first, we'd like to find out from the audience, what are the top 3 business challenges you face today? So I'll be releasing the poll. Everyone, please select your top 3 challenges in the poll window that's just popped out. 10 options are shifting market demand, not so efficient processes to deliver to market demands, efficient processes but all or most are manual with further opportunities for digitalization, how to reduce waste, workforce matters, example, mindset, skill set, communication, teamwork, etc. Silo departmental versus horizontal interdepartmental approach, responsive to situations but lack overall structured approach and platform to improve business continuity, resilience, digital technology assistance, example, ready technologies and funding support, high mix, low volume product mix, and the last option is others. And let's take a look at everyone's responses. I am seeing that the top 3 challenges faced are workforce matters, example, mindset, skill set, communication, and teamwork, responsive to situations but lack overall structural approach and platform to improve business continuity, resilience, and also shifting market demands. Okay, let us find out what our panelists think about that. I'll pass the time over to Peter to elaborate and start the discussion. Peter, over to you.
Good morning again, everyone. I'm Peter, your MC for this webinar. I would now like to take the next few slides briefly to set the stage for the main talk for today, which is Kaizen and digital transformation for business resilience continuity. So just now we saw from the poll results, there are many challenges that many of you face, and you are not alone. The COVID-19 pandemic, as you can see from this chart, has impacted many industries, from tourism to manufacturing to oil and gas, logistics, even financial. Impacted them in terms of liquidity and as well as on the profitability fronts. So in such times, how can businesses be resilient in the face of all these challenges, all the challenges that the poll surfaced, as well as be resilient from the impact of such challenges and the pandemic situation? Business resilience focuses on protecting today. And while businesses resilience focuses on protecting today, business continuity focuses on continuation of critical processes and how businesses can prepare for tomorrow. In short, protect today, prepare for tomorrow. How can we do that? To give us some insight to that, I would now like to invite Dr. Roland to give his talk on Kaizen and digital transformation for business resilience continuity. Dr. Roland, please.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Welcome to the webinar on digital and Kaizen and digital transformation for business resilience and continuity. This is the second time that we are having this webinar, and the good thing about webinar is that you can attend from your house, from your workplace, even in the factory floor. So some of you may be in your bedroom, some in the hall, some in the kitchen. So it's a wonderful way to come together. And like what Peter has mentioned, and the poll that you have polled just now, say correctly, in this COVID-19 pandemic, it presents a serious threat to people, to businesses, to economy around the world. But as leader of company, leader of industry, as the poll say correctly, first protect the people. Because we got to protect our people first, your employee. Those are your valuable resources. Without people, process and machine cannot operate by themselves. So protect people is the first thing. And of course, important thing before we talk about business is to serve the customer. So protect the people first, serve the customer second. Without people, how to serve the customer? Without customer, how to have business? And then you have a chance to stabilize your business continuity. So people first, then we have the customer, and then you can have your business. So therefore, importantly is we must remember this by Jack Welch. He said that if the rate of change on the outside exceed the rate of change on the inside, then the end is near ready. Which means that if the change in the environment is faster than the change inside your company, then we are approaching the end, and we should not do that. And therefore, we should change before change us. Just like an analogy, if an egg is broken from an outside force, it dies. But if it is broken by an inside force, then life begins. So therefore, great things always happen inside the company. Of course, we can blame it on the environment, we can blame it on COVID-19, but guess what? It falls on all company, it falls on all country. But importantly is, we have to change. And therefore, the challenge now is this. The only sustainable competitive advantage for a company in this difficult time is your ability to transform faster than the environment. This is critical. Therefore, as leader of the industry, as leader of your company, you must have the ability to learn. But importantly is to unlearn. Things are changing at such a fast rate. Whatever we know in the past may not apply in the future or even now. So we got to unlearn, and we must be able to relearn. But importantly is to translate this into action rapidly, because this is the ultimate competitive advantage. Because no organization, I can tell you, will ever get better by chance. It get better by change. So therefore, we have to change before the environment change us. But in order to change, in order to transform your company, it is important to remember this formula of efficiency and effectiveness. Effectiveness means you have your service and product that market wants. If you have a service and product that the customer wants, meaning that you have the business, you are effective. Efficiency means that you may have a business, you may be able to sell your product and services, but you are using a lot of resources to do that. So you may not be efficient. So when we want to change and transform for the better, we must remember this 2E formula. You cannot be improving the efficiency without effectiveness. Similarly, you cannot have effectiveness without efficiency. Let me show you why. Now, if you were to put them into a metric like that, if your company is effective, meaning that your top line is very good. If your company is at the same time just as efficient, meaning that your bottom line is very low, then of course your profit margin is higher. If your profit margin is high, it means that you thrive. You are a company that thrives. But most companies are effective, but they may not be efficient. So meaning that top line is good, but the bottom line is just as high, meaning that your profit margin is low. That means you are a company that we say survive. But in this bad time, you may not have a business coming in as usual in the past, but you are just as inefficiency, meaning that you die. Because your top line is getting lower, but your bottom line is just as high. So you die. How to overcome that? That means in this difficult time, we may not be so effective. Business may be still there. The action to take, therefore, is to be more efficient. Lower down your non-value added activity, remove your non-value added activity, lower down your cost of operation, and then we call it you protect. So this is the time whereby we must protect our business so that business can be resilient. And then we go into the future because COVID-19 will go away one day, right? It will definitely go away. But when you go away, are we ready to face the future? Are we ready to go into survive? Are we ready to go into thrive? That is the question that we have to think of now. And therefore, the thing that is on top of, the issue that is on top of many of the leaders in the industry now are this. This is what Frost and Sullivan has found out. Cash liquidity crisis, people morale problem, the sales pipeline is diminishing, the supply chain is being disrupted. The cost of operation is high, how to optimize it? Am I using digital technology to help me? Is my business model in the past still relevant into the future? Then how do I engage my customer? Customer profile are changing, customer location are changing, customer delivery method are changing. Is my current customer engagement model still valid? Am I prepared to go to do business as usual when it rebound back? So these are the top issue on most of the leaders of the industry. And to us in SIMTech, what we have done is that we put them into what we call the 5 pillars of a resilient enterprise. Meaning that importantly is focus on the business model. What is your business value proposition? In the past and now and into the future, it will change. But in order to support the business value proposition, what are we doing to our process? How are we improving our process? Are we removing non-value activity? Are we now redesigning the process in order to deliver maybe different value proposition to the customer? But I think more importantly at this time, and even beyond this time, is the people's pillar. In our lingo, we always say that improve the people so that people can improve the process and the process can then bring value together with the people to the business. And in this difficult time, protecting the people is the #1 priority. And then we can see how we can use digital technology to help to have teamwork among the people and to improve the process and then to bring business value to the market. But these 4 pillars here can never come together unless we have the leadership, which is right in the middle. And leaders are like you are the leaders of the industry. How are you going to, you are the 5th pillar, how are you going to glue the 4 pillars together in order to protect your business, in order to go for the future, prepare for the future? And therefore, not only SIMTech is coming up with solutions to help company. In fact, many of the company, like Accenture, for example, they came up with a 3P recommended action. Again, similar theme. First of all, protect the people first. People is #1 priority nowadays. Protect the people first. That means to say that how to enable the people to work and connect with each other. This is the first priority. How to enable them to have a safe and secure working environment. Then protect the processes. Where are the critical problems in your processes? How do I restore them back in my supply chain, connecting from a supplier all the way to my customer? And then the third step, the third P is, the 2P here is to protect your business. The third one is prepare for the future, prepare for the long term, because one day the business will come back. And then how are we preparing for the future? So this is essential 3P strategy. And then Ernst & Young come up with what we call the 4A recommended action. And again, the same thing again. You see, the starting point is what? Is to protect the people first. Put people safety #1. Settle the people first. And then we talk about the processes #2, connecting to the customer, connecting to the supplier. We call it the stakeholder, like how to communicate. So that's why in the poll, not so surprisingly, the number one is the workforce challenge. The number two is how to communicate and so on and so forth. Then number three is then once I protect the people, once I protect the processes, then how to bring business to as usual. That means how to reshape my strategy in order that I can bring business to as usual. And then number four is how do I prepare for recovery? So you can see a very consistent, similar strategy among all the big consultancy companies. And then the McKinsey come up with the 5R, meaning to say that resolve your current problem first. Resolve where are the issues, where are the hotspots, where are the pain points. And then go for resilience, how to recover and how to maintain business and how to return them back to normal, number three. And then number 4 and 5 is, again, is prepare for the future. That means reimagine and reform. But not only big company, consultancy company are coming with many, many different kind of approaches. Even small SME are also coming with their recommended action. Very practical. This is one SME boss that I talked to the other day. So I asked him, how are you able to overcome this so-called downturn and this pandemic? He said, very simple. I use my 4-turn strategy. So I said, 4-turn strategy. What is your 4-turn strategy? He said, very simple. In this time, importantly, you must be insistent. So insistent is one of the 4 turns, which is correct. So what he's saying is that you must be insistent. You can recover. I must insist. I must continue to go on. But insistent is not just a one-off insistent. I said, what is the 2nd turn? 2nd turn, you say is consistent. That means you must be consistent. Not only insistent, not only one-off, but you must do it regularly on a regular basis. You must be consistent. You must push on. I say, oh, so consistent is a 2nd turn. What about the 3rd turn? You say 3rd turn is persistent because you will definitely face problems. And at this time, it's almost like every day, new things are coming out. So you got to be persistent and push on. Consistent, not enough. Persistent. You overcome obstacle and one after another, and you push on. That's it. Then what is the number 4th turn? Is it number 4th turn? If you want to have business, then there is no U-turn. So this is from a small medium enterprise boss, which I find quite enlightening. The insistent, the consistent, the persistent, and the no U-turn. Very practical. Everybody understand this. All his workforce will understand this very well. Nothing deep about this, but very practical solution. Another MNC company that I talked to the other day, I said, how do you overcome it? He said, I told you about this 4th turn. He said, no, we don't do that. We have what we call hair quality. I said, what do you mean by hair quality? H-A-I-R, hair quality. Of course, I don't have hair. But then he said, you must have the hair quality. So I said, can you elaborate more? He said, hair quality stands for H. H stands for you must have helicopter vision. That means you must go above the pandemic and see into the future. You must have helicopter vision. Otherwise, how to survive? Then I say, oh, so H is helicopter vision. So what about A? They say, to have helicopter vision, number 2, you must have power of analysis. You must be able to analyze, power of analysis. Oh, I see. What about I? You must imagine to the future. You must have imagination because you must prepare for the future. You must imagine that things will get to normal and then what would business be like in the future? Then I asked him, what about R? What is R? H-A-I-R. What is R? Say, R, you must have a sense of reality. You may be able to imagine far, but what is the reality that's happening now? You must have a sense of reality. So I said, oh, this is another good strategy. So many companies are changing now. Whether the 4th turn, whether the 4R, whether the hair quality, people are changing. They are not waiting for things to happen outside. They are changing even now. And therefore, in SIMTech, we recommend company to have the 5 pillars of a resilient enterprise. Meaning that re-look at your business value proposition, re-look at your processes and your people allocation and your people workplace, and then use technology. Use technology, which is the 4th pillar, But importantly, the leadership must be insistent, must be consistent, must be persistent, and there will be no U-turn. And then you can see the company to overcome this downturn. So let me explain further each of these 5 pillars, so that you can have some knowledge to help your company. First of all, let's begin with the business value proposition. Now, this is the first thing you have to look at. For this, we use a tool called Business Model Canvas, BMC. A business model canvas at one glance can look at your business as a whole. So for example, in the middle here is a value proposition. So look at your value proposition. Value proposition means what is your unique value that the customer, which is number 2 box, your customer segment needs and wants. Now your customer segment are changing. And what is the channel that you're bringing your value proposition to the customer? And then what are your customer relationship? In the business model canvas, what we want is, can we do the 4 block well? This 1, 2, 3, 4. If you do the 4 block well, then number 5, which is effectiveness, which is your value, your revenue stream. Number 5 is the top line. Then your top line, your value will go up, isn't it? But in order to deliver the value proposition, which is the number 1, you must have the 6, 7, and 8. 6 means your processes, your key activity. 7 means your key resources. And 8 means your key partner. Together, if you do 6, 7, 8 well, your cost will go down, which is efficiency. So what we want in this hard time is, if our top line is not so high, at least our bottom line is low. Therefore, we still have a profit margin. So a business model canvas is a very good tool that can allow us to look at our value proposition, look at our whole business as a whole. And then we can then say that, okay, if currently, how should I protect my business today? That means from a business model canvas point of view, how can I maintain business resilience? So there's a need to protect the business. Because this is the only the business that you know. This is the only the business that your employee know also. And your customer and supplier also the only business that they contract with. So importantly now is look at your business model canvas. How can I minimize avoidable loss? How can I minimize damages? And how can I get my business back into the best possible shape? And then we then go into the future, we say that once I am able to protect my business, how am I to prepare my business for the future? Which is what we call business continuity. And therefore, business continuity, we are looking at scenario planning. We are looking at, if this is my as-is business model, now how am I going to plan for my to-be business model? Because the new norm may change, So how am I going to identify the risks? How am I going to identify the opportunity, the challenges associated with the new norm? How am I going to have a new business model for my business in order to face the future? So as is and to be model. I think this is the number 1 thing that company has to do. Once you do that, then we can say that, okay, then we talk about the processes. So for processes, we are saying that look at your processes, but not from a vertical point of view. That means look at your processes from a horizontal point of view. We call it your value stream. Meaning to say that your processes must flow horizontally. We know that you are organized vertically, which is your finance, your HR, your operation, and so on and so forth. But guess what? Customer only pay for the horizontal value. So are we able to flow our processes, our value horizontally across to the customer? And then from there, are we able to use value stream mapping, for example? These are some of the tools that we use in order to map the operation from an enterprise, from a supply chain, from a shop floor point of view, connecting the supplier all the way to the customer. And this is where we have an overview of our processes. And this is where we start to identify where are the points of failure. Where are the points of failure caused by the pandemic? Where are the opportunities that I may have into the future? And these points of failure are the one that's causing my business, my top line going down. How am I going to remedy them? And how am I going to identify opportunity for the future? So this is very important. So that we got to look at the processes in more detail in order to recover the business, in order to prepare the business for the future. And we have to do it consistently. We call it using the Kaizen method. That means to say that we must not only plan, we must plan, do, check, and act. And then we must be able to bring our business back to normal and then standardize it. Standardize it, meaning to have the SCCCI cycle, standardize, do, check, and act. And then we go and improve further, prepare for the future. Another Kaizen activity, PDCA, and then we maintain. This is a continuous cycle. We call it continuous improvement of your processes. And we have to do that. We have to do that even more in this difficult time. And therefore, once you improve your process, then you can go into the future. And then you can go into what we call the third pillar, which is the people's pillar. In the people pillar, I cannot underemphasize the importance of people's pillar, especially in this difficult time. Even now in this difficult time, the people's pillar to me are the most important pillar, because no organization will ever grow if the people don't grow. No processes, no machine, whatever, no digital technology will change by itself if people don't change. So the number one priority now is focus on the employee. And of course, the customer. Take care of employee, keep them well. Of course, keep them employed and mentally healthy. So therefore, to bring business value to the industry, we must have the work. But the work has to be balanced by the workplace and the workforce. Isn't it? It's not just work and workplace, processes and value, but without the people. Without people, nothing will happen. So at this time, for a resilient enterprise, we advocate to have the inverted pyramid. Inverted pyramid means that the role of leaders, managers, supervisors are there to support the flow of value in the front line, on the shop floor. Because this is where the front line, where the shop floor, where value flow from supplier to customer. So importantly is to have everyday improvement, everywhere improvement, and everybody improvement, not only the people who are at the front line, shop floor, but including people at the top. So protect the people first, and as leader, we got to show up for the people. Start from the top management. Develop work and workplace plan, because work and workplace now can be in different places for the whole workforce. Educate the employee, have a clear protocol, and importantly, prepare for the activity after disruption and reactivation. So I can never underemphasize the importance of people, the people pillar, because without people, processes, machines, digital technology will never change by itself. So when people grow, the organization will therefore grow. And then we come to the digital technology. This is the time whereby we can use digital technology to help us to have better teamwork, to help us to link people to the processes, to help us link the processes to the customer, especially delivery to customers. So workforce, workplace can come together, can cooperate, can collaborate using digital technology. And this is important. Not only are we using digital, but that's why in the beginning I was saying we must be able to unlearn. Just within this short few months, I have learned Zoom, I have learned Microsoft Teams, I have learned WebEx, many kinds of communication tools. So we got to unlearn and relearn. Which these are the things that in the past we may not know and we may not be familiar with. But not only that, SIMTech itself, we have the SIMTech Model Factory. And this is Model Factory, we develop many kinds of digital technology. They are all ready to go technology, all the way from supply chain to logistics, all the way to enterprise and to shop floor, and even to industry automation and operation innovation. So please feel free to contact us. These are the technology that we can transfer to the industry in order to help you, your business, make your business more resilient and have business continuity. But I think importantly, beside the digital technology, beside the people, the processes, and the business value, importantly is right in the middle, the leadership philosophy. So like what we say, in this difficult time, the critical skill of this century is not what you know. The critical skill of this century is how you assess what other people know. And this is important. So as leader, therefore, it is not how much you know that matters now. What matters most is how much access you have to what other people know. Because technology keeps changing, every day things are changing. How can I work together with other people in order to have business resilience and business continuity? So it is not how intelligent you are as a leader, Importantly is how much intelligence you as a leader can draw out from others and help put to use to help your company. And in this difficult time, our leadership guru, John Maxwell, said that to be a leader in this difficult time, these are the 7 qualities of a good leader in difficult time. First, you must be people first. In Chinese, we call it 以人为本. That means people first company. Nothing, in this difficult time, this is the most important now, people first. Processes, product will come after that. And important is to educate yourself. Because as a leader, we may not know everything. So educate yourself with all the different kind of technology, all the possible business unit, work with people, be flexible. Because every day things are changing. And important is to leverage on the team because they have the best suggestion. They are on the front line. They are on the shop floor. They know exactly how to do it. And number 5, important thing of our leadership quality is to be able to communicate. Using whatever digital technology tool, we must communicate and we must connect. And number 6 is to be authentic. Be authentic means to be real. Like the hair quality I was saying about HAIR, you must be realistic. We must be real. And number 7, importantly, is to manage ourselves. Because in this difficult time, we may want our people to change. We are still anxious to have the top line, but we must manage ourselves. I think the most difficult part of leadership is how to lead yourself. And therefore, we always tell company, if you as leader transform, your organization will transform. And in this difficult time, if you want more, you yourself must become more. But if you want things to change, then you have to change. If you want things to get better, it must start from you. You must get better first. If you want things to improve, you have to be the one to improve. Of course, we want things to grow, but everything will grow with you. And therefore, this is what we call the 5 pillars of a resilient enterprise. Very briefly, I've covered business value proposition, processes we need to improve, but importantly, improve the people, to improve the process, to bring value to the business. And then leverage on digital technology to help us. But importantly, to grow the 4 pillars together is the leadership philosophy, which is in the right spec in the middle that can bring all the 4 pillars together. But then, how do we translate this 5 pillars of a resilient enterprise into something practical, something that we can transfer to you, and therefore help your company to protect your business, and then to prepare your business for the future? And this is where we translated the 5 pillars of a resilient enterprise into what we call methodology. In this methodology, we call it Omni Methodology. Omni means, in Chinese, means one. It can help you. And the Omni Methodology comprises of 5 stages. Then these 5 stages correspond to the 5 pillars of a resilient enterprise, so that we can systematically lead you from stage 1, from the business value proposition, to stage 2, which is your process, your landscape, as well as your people's pillar, going into stage 3, which is to identify the pain points, the point of failure, identify improvement areas. Where are the opportunities for the future? And number 4 is the priority, is the initiative. Initiative can be the technology. Initiative can be the Kaizen, improvement of the processes. Initiative can be people improvement, job redesign, and so forth. But the initiative and the solution cannot come first. Your business must be the priority. What are your business value proposition now and in the future? How does your processes look like? Where are the improvement areas? The solution comes later. And importantly, how do you develop an action plan in order to carry this initiative into execution so that we can help the company to protect your business and to prepare for the future? So this is what we call the Omni Methodology. And the Omni Methodology are available so as to help your company to protect your business and to prepare for the future. But not only that, we put the Omni methodology into what we call a program. Because the methodology itself cannot transfer to you unless we have a program. So we designed this program, we call it the Omni Program, whereby bosses from industry say that for this program to work, it cannot be just to have learning training alone. Because I can go to a lot of training classes, but I may not be able to apply it in my company. So for the program to succeed, you must have the learn, the practice, and the implement. It means to say that I can learn in the classroom, whereby you can teach us the methodology and the philosophy and the whole Omni methodology. But importantly, you must come to my company to have on-site mentoring, to practice and to implement. What I want is actual implementation. So therefore, with these three criteria, the program can be successful. Not only training, but actual project. And not only that, but to train my people to be champion into the future. And then to structure this into 2 modules. Module 1, Module 2. And then I do not want to have a whole day program, maybe a half day session. So we will have Module 1, 10 sessions, and 1 session half a day, from 9 to 12, or maybe in the afternoon also. And Module 2 also 10 sessions. And company says that, can you run this in 2 modes? That means to say that 1 mode is public class. That means for people, for companies who are very small, they can send 2 or 3 people and they join other companies. But some companies are big enough, so they say, can you run it in the corporate class? Meaning that just only for my company. So we run this program in corporate class as well as public class. But now in this period of pandemic COVID-19, companies are saying that, can you run this program online? So definitely, we can use Zoom. We can use many of the online tools. So we are now running this Omni program online. That means to say that you can learn the program from the comfort of your home. And then we can teach you and we can do mentoring. We can do actual mentoring so that you can practice with your company online using Zoom or using other online tools that you are comfortable with. And the company says that for the program to work, I think the other criteria which is important also, which is the funding. So this program is funded by SSG. If you are a SME, small business enterprises, you will have 90% funding. That means 90% will be funded by SSG. But even if you are a big company, multinational company, there will be still funding of 70%. And then if you are in a multinational company, but you are a Singaporean age 40 and above, you have another 20% funding. Meaning that Singaporean age 40 and above in a multinational company will have 90% funding. So therefore, the program has the working formula of learn, practice, and implement, as well as funding, as well as to be able to conduct the program in a public mode, as well as a corporate mode. So therefore, this is the end of my presentation, because I say online presentation cannot be too long. And therefore, what my advice to the industry is this: protect today, prepare for tomorrow. And importantly, that we must act now. Otherwise, we cannot protect our business, and otherwise, we are not prepared for the future. So with this, I thank you for your patience, and I thank you for listening to me. Thank you very much.
Dr. Roland, Peter, and Ming Chao, do you want to leave a closing advice for all the businesses out there, how they can adopt Kaizen and digitally transform to be more resilient in this current situation? Maybe each of you can have a closing sentence to sum up the whole presentation today.
Very simple message. One is protect your business. Importantly, this is the only business that you know of. Protect your business. And then secondly, prepare for the future, because the future will definitely come and COVID-19 will definitely go away. So prepare for the future. And Kaizen is a method of, in Chinese we call it Kaizen. Kaizen meaning that continuous improvement. So there are many techniques that we can share with you, and we can help you now. So we got to work together, because the leadership nowadays is that we do not know anything. We do not know everything, but we can team up to work together in order to help the industry. Thank you.
Thank you.
For business resilience continuity, we need to take action. We need to be insistent, consistent, persistent, and there's no U-turn in order to have business resilience continuity. So I would recommend to the participants here, we have this structured program to help companies in the journey. So we recommend that you approach us if where you see that there's opportunity to explore further, to embark on this journey. Take the first step.
Most important is the leadership. So the leadership must believe in continuous improvement. So like what Peter said, take the first step and all the success will come all the way.